Hello guys, it's good to have you back, and in this video I'll be showing you how to create ORB trading strategy in MQL5, which you can also call your MetaTrader 5. So I'm going to explain how this strategy will be created. I'm going to explain the step-by-step guide. So the first thing we are going to do is to identify 9:30 a.m. of the current day. Then we are going to wait for the first 15 minutes candle to form at that exact time. The first 15 minutes candle that form at exactly 9:30 a.m. You can see that this vertical line represents 9:30 a.m. in the morning. So we are going to draw an horizontal line on the low price and the high price of the 15 minutes candle. Then we are going to change to 5 minutes time frame and wait for a breakout. We are going to wait for either breakout above the high price, which is going to be a buy trade, or sell or a bearish candle to break below the low price of the 15 minutes candle. And once it sells, our stop loss for a sell is going to be the high price of the 15 minutes candle, which is this horizontal line, and our take profit can be between 1:2 to 1:4. And if it was a buy trade, which means if a 5 minutes candle break and close above the high price of the 15 minutes candle, which is this particular horizontal line, we are going to place a buy trade, and our stop loss will be at the low price of the 15 minutes candle, which is this horizontal line, and our take profit will be between 1:2 to 1:4. Make sure you watch this video from the beginning to the end, because I'm going to show you how to get the source code of this trading bot so that you'll be able to use it and practice. And make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel if you find it helpful. So the first thing you have to do is to open your meta editor. Anytime you download MT5, it always comes with the meta editor also. So you are going to open your meta editor. Then once you open your meta editor, you will see a blank space like this. Once you see a blank space like this, you can click on new. Once you click on new, then you can click on expert advisor. Once you click on expert advisor, click on next, then give it a name. Let me name it ORB 9:30 bot. I'm going to name it that, then click on next, 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 and finish. Once you are done creating the file, then this is it. We have this bot. This file will be loaded on your screen. So in order for you to see where the bot is saved, you can just go to view, then go to navigator. Once you go to navigator, then under, we see different options here. Then under expert, you are going to see ORB 9:30. Just scroll down, then look for okay, I've not compiled. I think it should be ORB 9:30 bot. You can see it here. That's the name of the bot, ORB 9:30 bot. Now the first thing we want to do is to identify exactly 9:30 on our chart, which means for example, for today, let's look for 9:30 a.m. in the morning. You can see here that the place I'm placing the crossbar, this particular time, that is this bearish bar here, that is 9:30 a.m. in the morning. The first thing we need to do is to identify that particular time on our chart, so that we're able to pinpoint the exact candle that was formed at that exact time, right? So now let's go back to meta editor. The first thing you are going to do is to declare a string data type, right? Just type string, then you can say just name it trade underscore time, right? You can then say equals to, then open double quotation mark, then input 9:30. I've forgotten the name of I think this should be a colon, 9:30, right? That is a string data type. Compile. We have 0 errors and 0 warnings. The next thing you have to do is to convert this string into date time, which means this is just the hour and the minute, which means 9:30, right? For every day we have different time. For example, on the, let's say the date of a Monday will be Monday 9:30, of a Tuesday will be Tuesday 9:30. So this change every day, right? So the first thing you can do, if you want to we want the bot to update every day, right? We want the bot to do something at 9:30, right? But we want it to keep updating every day. Each and every day, the 9:30 will keep changing and changing and changing. Because if I say the 9:30 of the 1st of January is different from the dates will be different from the 9:30, the 2nd of January, right? So the first thing I always do is to declare a string variable and input the time without the year, month, and day, right? The next thing you have to do is to declare a date time variable. Just type date time, then you can say you can name this trade underscore time underscore let me just put this date, right? Just end it with a semicolon. This is, we declare these two variables in our global space, right? So now I want to convert this particular time into date time, which means I want it to include the current day, current month, and current day, the current year, current month, and current day, right? This is what you are going to do. Just come straight into your untick event handler. This is the untick event handler, right? Now inside your untick event handler, this is where we are going to filter the time. Then you are going to say the date time variable trade time trade underscore time dot date equals to, you are going to type string to time, which means you want to convert string to time, which means it is automatically going to add the month, the year, and the year, the month, and the current day for you automatically. Once you type string to time, then input the string, right? What's the string? The string is trade underscore time. So we want to convert this string variable to time, which means it is going to include all the things I mentioned earlier. So let me add a comma, right? So now let me comment it out. Let me comment out the date now. You see that automatically it will be the year, month, and day will be automatically included. So let's compile. Let me go to my chart and add the bots to my chart. So now for you to add a bot to your chart, go to your navigator section, go to expert, then under expert, look for the bot. That should be ORB 930 bot. So if I activate the bot, click on OK, should comment it out. Can you see it is saying 2025 10 2025 10 06 9:30 is going to locate that particular time on our chart. Then tomorrow is going to be 2025 10 07. Then automatically every day it will keep updating 2025 10 06. Then tomorrow you don't need to change the year, the month, and the day. It's going to update itself to the current day. So that's the purpose of the function string to time, which means it's going to convert string to time for you. So now for us to be sure that this is correct, let's create a vertical line to be placed on that particular time. So we can just say use the function object create. Then I'm going to use the chart ID function to get the chart ID. Once we are done with that, the next thing is to give the object a name. Let's just name this v line, which is vertical line, right? Then comma, the next thing is saying what type of object do you want to create. We want to create object v line, which means a vertical line, comma, which window, which is the current window, which is index 0. Then the time, which is where do we want to place the vertical line on our chart. Let's place the vertical line on our trade underscore time underscore date, which is at exactly 9:30. So the next thing is now saying the price. We don't need the price to place a vertical line. You only require a vertical you only require dates to place a vertical object on your chart. So I'm just going to put 0. So let me add a semicolon and compile. So once I compile, you will see that automatically a vertical line will be added to exactly 9:30 a.m. on our chart. So this is the first step. The next thing we are going to do now is to place an horizontal, is to identify that particular candle. We get the high price of that candle, the low price of that candle, so that we'll be able to place an horizontal line on the high price and the low price of that particular candle at exactly 9:30 a.m. in the morning. Get the exact information of the candle or the 15-minute candle that formed at exactly 9:30 a.m. in the morning. So this is what we are going to do. So let's copy the information of the candle, which means the close price, the open price, the low price, the high price, and the time that this particular candle formed, right? So let's just come here and declare a double variable to store the open price, open price of the candle is going to be an array, right? The next one is going to be close price of the candle, then the low price of the candle, then the should be a double data type, high price of the candle, then a date time. Do we really need that? But let me just add it. Then the time of that particular candle. Compile, we have 0 errors and 0 warnings. So now to copy the candle information, we come inside our untick event handler. So let's just say use the function copy close to copy the close price underscore symbol to identify the current symbol on our chart, comma, then want to copy for period M30, right, which is 30 minutes. No, it should be 15 minutes, M15, because that's what we want to work with. Then the next parameter is saying where do we want the copying to start from, right? You can either specify the index or specify the time where you want to copy from. So I want the copying to start from trade trade underscore time underscore date, which means exactly 9:30 a.m. in the morning, right? Add a comma, then count, which means how many bars do you want to copy. Let me just say 1, which means it is only going to copy for that particular 15 minutes, comma. Then where do you want to save it? The array you want to save it. Remember we declared array for close price earlier, so we are going to say close price. So let me just add a comma, compile, 0 errors and 0 warnings. I will just copy this and repeat the same thing for the open price. So it's going to be copy open, then this time around going to be open price to store the open price. Then do this again for the I price, copy for the I price, copy I, it should be copy I this time around. Then we are copying for the I price. Let me do this. Then for the low price, we are going to say copy low, open a bracket, then it's going to be underscore symbol, which means the current symbol on our chart, comma, then period M15, which is 15 minutes time frame. Then where do you want the copying to start from? From 9:30 a.m. in the morning. How many do you want to copy? Just for 1 bar. Where do you want to store it? Want to store it as close, no, should be low price array, and it's a semicolon. Then also the time, well, it's not necessary, but you can just copy time, open a bracket, use underscore symbol, right, comma, period M15, comma, trade underscore time underscore date, comma, then 1. You also want to copy from 1 bar, then time. So you successfully copied the close price, open price, high price, low price, and the time for that particular 15-minute candle. So the next thing now is that we want to place an horizontal line on the high price and the low price. Let me zoom in a bit. We want to place an horizontal line on the high price and the low price of that particular 15-minute candle. So this is what we are going to do. We are also going to use the object create function to create the horizontal line, right? So we are going to say object create, then input the chart ID function to get the chart ID, comma. What do you want to name this? Let's just name this, open a double quotation mark, just name this I line, comma. What type of objects do you want to create? OBJ H line, which means horizontal line, comma. Then which window? Window 0, which means the current chart on the screen. Then the time is saying what time do you want to place it. It's not necessary for an horizontal line. An horizontal line, you don't need the time, you only need the price to place an horizontal line. So I'm just going to put 0, comma, then what price do you want to input the horizontal line. We want it to be at the high price of the 15 minutes candle. Then just input that here, then input index 0 because we only copied for one data for one candlestick. Then let me add a comma and compile. Once I compile, let me go back to the charts. Can you see the horizontal line was placed at the high price of that particular candle, right? So now let's place another horizontal line on the low price of that particular candle. So I'm just going to say object create, then chart ID, open that, then the string name, just let me name this low line, which is the line for the low price. Then add a comma, obj underscore obj h line, right? Window 0, the current window, the time, which should be 0 or so, then the price, which should be the low price of index 0, which means the first candle. I'm just gonna put that here, comma, then let's see. Let's go back to our chart after compiling. I think we should get a low price now. Can you see? The horizontal line was placed at the high price and the low price of that candle. Let me delete this vertical line so that you see it better. Let me come to undo. If you want to delete an object immediately after you decompile, after you compile your code again, you can just say object, that should be object delete all. Then you can say it means we delete all the objects on your chart ID function, then window. I think that should be, do we even need this? Come in, input compile. I don't know if that will work, but let me just comment this out. The vertical line. Okay. Can you see? The horizontal line is on the high price and the low price of that particular 15-minute candle at exactly 9:30 a.m. So let me return back the vertical line. Compile. Can you see? That is it. So now the next thing is for us to go to 15 minutes or go to 5 minutes to see if when a 5 minutes candle cross above or below the high price or the low price of that 15 minutes candle. The next thing we have to do is to copy the data for the 15 minutes candle from this particular time forward to see if the if there is a 5 minute candle that have crossed and closed above or below any of the line. So let's come here and to our meta editor, then repeat exactly all this for M5 and array to store all the 5 minutes time frame. So I'm just going to say M5, the data for the 5 minutes time frame, the open price, the close price, the low price, the high price, and time. Then the next thing we have to do is to use the array setter series so that the copying will start from the latest candle backwards, right? I prefer to use it backward for the executing time frame. So I'm just going to come here on initialization event handler, then use the array setter series function, then use the M5 underscore open equals true, which means copy from the latest candle backward. What am I doing? Sorry for that. Array set a series. I'm gonna say this plus true. It means copy from the latest candle from back to forward. So I'm just gonna repeat for all the remaining 4. So I'm just gonna say copy for the array setter series for the close price, array setter series for also the low price, copy from the latest candle, which means this current candle here, right? Then array setter series from the high price and array setter series for the time also. Then we need to copy the data for we need to copy the data for the 5 minutes. So we are going to come here, then say copy the close price of 5 minutes, copy close, right? Then underscore symbol, which means the current asset on our chart. Then what time frame is this one to copy for 5 minutes? We are going to use the period underscore M5, right? Where do you want the copying to start from? Let me say time current. I want to start from the current time frame, current time to when it gets to 9:30 in the morning, because we are copying backwards because of the array setter series, comma. Then where do you want to store this? I want to store it at the close price, right? Comma. Then let's repeat the same thing for the open price. I don't want to waste too much of our time. Time current to this should be open, and this should also be open, and this should be I. It should be for the I price. No, this should be M5 because we are copying for 5 minutes. M5 array 5 minutes, the array to store the 5 minutes time frame details, 5 underscore. So let's copy for the low price. Let's change this to low, then change this to M5 underscore low price, and lastly the time. Let's copy time, then let's copy this should be M5 underscore time, compile. So let's see if we copy the right data. Let me just try to comment out the on our chart the current close price. Comment close price 0. So I'll know if we are copying the right data. The current close price is 17101, 1.7101. 1 point, I think something is wrong somewhere. 1.1711. Let me come here. That should be okay. M5. Yeah, that should be where the current close price is. 1.171. Oh, it should be M5 close. Sorry for the apologies. Compile, because I want to check it for the. Okay, can you see 1.71 1.17104? That's the current close price of the current candle, right? So we've successfully copied the data for the 5 minutes time frame. So now we need to check if the 5 minutes time frame, if a bullish candle cross and close above the high price of the 15 minutes candle that formed at exactly 9:30 a.m. of the current day, or a bearish candle cross and close below the low price of the first 30 minutes candle that formed as exactly 9:30 a.m. the current day. Next step now is for us to define the logic, which means we need to identify when there is a crossing. So let me go back to my meta editor. So now in your untick event handler, we are going to say this. The logic will be if close should be if for a buy trade. Let me add the comment. For a buy trade, we need to say if that should be M5 open price, right? Open price 1 is less than the high price of the 15 minutes candle, right? and the M5, the close price of the 5 minutes candle of index 1 is greater than this particular high price 0. I'm coming, I will explain that in a bit. So basically what I'm saying is that the open price of a 15 minutes candle, the open price of a 15 minute of the open price of a 5 minutes candle is below the high price, which is this line, and the close price is above the high price, which is this line also. Why I'm using index 1 is that we need to wait. Why I'm using index 1 for the 5 minute candle is that we need to wait for the candle to close. For example, this candle is still ticking, so um it's not valuable to us. We need to wait for the candle to close, and the first and the last closed candle is index 1. This is index 0, but this is index 1, which means if the open price is below and the close price is above, which means there is a crossing right above the high price of the 15 minutes candle. So you can see that that is exactly what you did here. But here comes another problem, right? So we immediately, the candle that will be formed at 9:30 a.m. open, it will be ticking, right? But we need to make sure that the 15 minutes candle that formed at exactly 9:30 a.m. closed right before we start placing trade, which means our trading must start at nothing less than 9:45 a.m. in the morning, right? Because for a 15 minutes candle to form, you have to wait for like 3 5 minutes candles, right? For example, let's say this is 5 minute time frame, right? And this was exactly 9:30 a.m. If we want to start placing trade before this candle close, sometimes we are going to take trades that are not necessary. So in order for you to wait for that 15 minute candle that formed at exactly 9:30 a.m., 9:30 is the open time of that candle, right? In order for you to wait till the candle close, you have to make sure that the trade starts at exactly or after 9:45 a.m. in the morning. So we are going to use the similar logic that I've used, similar way that I've used before. We are going to declare another string, right? Let me use this exact way I did it earlier. Let me just come here and just say string, declare a string variable, then say first let me just use start time, which means the time that trade is going to start equals, then open double quotation mark, then you can use 9:45, right, and it's a semicolon, then declare this time variable, this time start time, let me just say underscore, let me just say trade, and it's a semicolon, then come to your tick, then you can say start should be start time trade, right? Start time trade equal, then convert the string to time, open parentheses, then input start time, then it's going to convert it to date time. It's going to convert the date time that we include the year, month, and date. So we need to like add the logic that for the bot to execute a trade, and time current, which is the current time, is greater or equals to start time trade, right? Which means the current time must be greater than 9:30 in the morning. It must be greater than 9, it must be greater or equals to 9:45 in the morning, because we want the 15-minute candle that formed at exactly 9:30 to close before the bot will start executing trade. So now let's write the logic. You can take a minute break, write the logic for a sell trade yourself, right? So let me just, I believe you've done that. So now let's go for the logic to place a sell trade. So you're going to write logic if the, let me just type it, M5 open is greater, and it should be a scenario like this: the open price of a 5 minutes must be greater than the low price of the 15 minutes, right? Then 5 minutes index 1, right, must be greater than the low price of the 15 minutes index 0, because we only copied for one data, and the M5 close price 1 is less than the low price index 0, and we are going to add this logic: the current time frame must be greater than or equals to 9:45 a.m. in the morning before the bot executes a sell trade. The next step now is for us to execute trades, and for you to execute trades, you first need to use the include file. You are going to input hashtag include, so add the then less than sign, greater than sign, then you type trade slash trade dot mqh. Let me compare to see if I'm right. Then come here, just down here, type trade. You don't need to understand this fully, but later on you get to understand. See, just type this, then trade ending with a semicolon. So once you are done typing these two lines, then in the logic for the buy trade, just come in between these two curly brackets, type in trade dot buy, then input your lot size. Let's say I want to use 0.0, let's 0.2, comma, which symbol, use underscore symbol, which means the current symbol on your chart. Then add a comma, which means the price. You can input the ask price. Then to get the ask price, you can declare a double variable, then input type ask price, add as the identifier, ask price equals symbol info double underscore symbol, then symbol ask, then add a semicolon. So you can just come here and type in ask price. This is for a bar. Then your stop loss. Remember I said if there is a crossing above the high price, then the stop loss is going to be the low price of the 15 minutes bar, right? So you're just going to come here at the stop loss. You will say low price 0, which is the low price of the 15 minutes bar. Then add a comma. Then the TP, let's say we want it to be 1:2, right? So let's declare a double variable to store the take profits. Name it take underscore profit, because you can say if you want to make it like 1:2, you can say the ask price, right, minus this to get the number of pips between the difference. You say ask price minus the low price, which means in a case like this that it cross, then we are going to say the ask price minus the low price. Once you get the distance between them, right? Once you get the distance between them, then you can, add a bracket. So add them both inside one. Then after that, let's say you want to do 1:2, then multiply by 2, multiply by 2. Once you multiply, you are done multiplying it by 2. The next thing is for you to add it to the same ask price, which means they are going to say ask price plus this. So this logic, you can use it to create the risk reward ratio. We are trying to get the distance between the ask price and the low price, right? Which is the distance from our entry point to our stop loss. Then once we got that, we multiply it by 2, which is 1:2. Then after that, we add it to our ask price, which means we successfully got in 1:2. But most of the time, I prefer to use this math add function, which means if we made a mistake in our calculation and it added the negative number, it's going to automatically change it to to a positive number. So you can just, once you are done with that, then come here, impute your take profit, then a comma. Then let's do for a sell trade also. We are going to come into the logic of a sell trade and type trade dot sell, right? The lot size, let's say 0.2. Add the comma. Once you add the comma, then the symbol underscore symbol. Once you are done with that, add a comma. You can use the ask price if you want, and you can use the bid price, but you can use anyone. Then the stop loss for a buy trade, for a sell trade, is going to be the I price of the 15 minutes candle. So you are going to say I price 0, right, comma. Then the take profits, it should just be like this also. Let's just say double take profit. Let's use that again, equals this time around it will be the I price minus the ask price, because it is the greater number. You subtract the lower number from the greater number, right? So we are going to say I price 0, right, minus the ask price. Then that will get you the number of pips, right? Add it into a bracket, then multiply it. Let's say you want to do 1:2, multiply the pips by 2. Once you do that, then you are going to subtract it from the current ask price, then the ask price minus this. Then, like I said earlier, you can use the math add function to eliminate any mistakes. Math abs function. So automatically you can use this as your take profit. So let me compile. I think there's an error somewhere. Trade.sell undeclared variable take underscore profit. Okay, there should be a stop loss. The sell some operator is expected. Lot size, the symbol, the ask price, the I price. Okay, there should be a semicolon here. Compile. So now we have this. Now let's do a short test with our MT5 strategy tester. In case this is your first time of using MT5 strategy tester, go to your MetaTrader 5, then go to that should be view, then go to strategy tester, then in this place like this, click on expert, then look for the bot, and OR930 bot, then choose the symbol you want to test it with. Make sure the symbol is added to your market watch. This is very important for you to see it in your MT5 strategy tester. But make sure if you go to your overview, you click on visualize, then choose the bot, choose the symbol, choose the time frame, which you use the lowest time frame if you want the strategy tester to work. Use the lowest time frame that you included in your bot. For example, in my bot I used M15, which is 15 minutes and 5 minutes. So you must make sure you use the lowest time frame that you added in your bot. Then you can choose custom period, which means you can select where you want the test to start from and where you want it to end, or you can back test it throughout the entire history of the asset. Then make sure the delay is set to this, If you want it to be jumping from open price to another open price, then you can choose open prices only. Then make sure you don't click this profit in pips. Then your deposit, your currency, your leverage, then you can choose disable optimization or whatever you want, but I prefer to use disable optimization to get accurate results. Then make sure you click this visual mode with display of charts and indicator. So now let's test this if it is working according to our description. So let's say start. Let me pause this so that it will not be too fast. Let me do a little bit editing here, black on white. Let me off the grid and on the period separator to be able to monitor each and every day. So let's see what the time says at exactly 9. Okay, can you see this is exactly 9:30 a.m. So it's going to wait for the 15 minutes candle to close, then place an horizontal line on both the eye. I think something is wrong somewhere. Check this. The error is coming from here because we try to create an object, and the bot will keep updating every day the high price and the low price of the 30 minutes that formed at exactly 9:30 a.m. of that day. But early in the morning in that day, before 9:30 a.m., we don't have a candle already for 9:30 a.m. So the best thing we can do is to add this condition here also, that the bot should only draw these objects. I think we should include it for the V line also. Let me bring that here. Should include for the V line also, that the bot should only draw these objects if, I think the V line doesn't have a problem because it's not an array, so we can use it for only the high price and the low price. So we can say if should only draw the high price, the horizontal line from the high price of the low price if the first 30 minutes candle for the day has already formed, right? So first, to see if it's gonna work that way, should only formed in a scenario like this. Okay, wow, see how that same error at line 111. Okay, I think we should just add this conditions to the other line also. Control C, that's for the sell trade, which means we can delete it here. So the condition must come first. So now the condition must come first that the current time frame must be greater than than 9:30 a than 9:45 a.m. in the morning, because we want trade to start from 9:45 a.m. in the morning, because before 9:45 a.m. in the morning, the 15 minutes candle that formed at exactly 9:30, that is forming at exactly 9:30, has not yet closed, so we need to wait for it to close. So let's compile, come back here and run the code. Let me do some settings here. Properties, show grid on the period separator. So black and white. Let's see how it will work. So at exactly 9:30, you can see here that this is the time, but no candle has formed yet, right? So we need to wait for the candle to form and close. Once the candle form and close, then we have the high price and the low price, and immediately there's a crossing below the low price. It placed a sell trade. Immediately the candle closed, then the stop loss was placed at the high price of the 15 minutes candle. This is 5 minutes time frame, right? Then the take profit was placed at 1:2. So that's exactly how it happened here. Then there was another crossing here again, so it executed another trade. So that was a good win. Can you see another trade there? So anytime the market enter that particular zone and there is a crossing outside of that particular zone, is going to execute trades for us. But it doesn't just end here. We are back testing with what's it called, with open prices only. What if we want to back test with every tick? Then a problem will arise from that, right? If I try to back test with every tick, the bot is going to take a lot of trades at the same time. because it will be taking trades on every tick. So we have to define a logic to help us prevent trades on every tick. Can you see it is taking too many trades? So I will show you how to prevent that in this video. So in order for us to prevent trade on every tick, you need to come in your global space, declare a datetime variable, then you can name it last trade time. You can say equals 0 and a semicolon, and inside your untick event handler, you can declare another datetime variable, datetime, then name this current, can name this current underscore bar underscore time equals, then use the I time function to get the time for the current bar underscore symbol, which means the current symbol. Then make sure this is the time frame is your executing time frame, which is our 5 minutes period M5. This time 5 minutes current 0, which means the current time, right? The opening time of the current bar, of the current 5 minutes bar, right? So now you need to add a condition here in your condition, and just add this condition, and you say current bar time, which is the opening time of the current 5 minutes time, is not equals to last trade time, right? Last trade time, which means the current bar time is the opening price of the 5 minutes that executed the trade, right? If it's not equals to last trade time, because our last trade time is now equals to 0, is equals to 0, right? Then anytime this occurs that they are not equal, right? Then the boss should do what? Should change last trade time to current bar time, which means anytime all these conditions are true, right? And current bar time is not the same as last trade time, the bot can execute a trade, and after executing a trade, it will change last trade time into current bar time, which means until current bar time change, like another candle forms, the bot cannot execute a trade with all these conditions. So I'm going to do the same thing for the sell trade also. This will help you prevent trade on every tick. Then last trade time, compile. So let's test this. Always make sure this box is not clicked. This profits in pips for calculation. Let me untick it. I made a mistake the other time, so let me just start this. I don't want it to be full too fast. Let me slow it down a little bit. Chart properties, black and white, grid period separator. So let's see how it's gonna work this time around to prevent trade on it. Maybe it's not gonna take trades on every tick, but rather when necessary. So let's see now. So a crossing, yeah, just one trade per bar. That's good. So basically this is it. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section, and if you want the source code for you to practice, you can reach out to me. You can check the description of this video. I will drop the link to my WhatsApp where you can message me and ask me any question that you want. So if you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and if you have any question, ask me in the comment section. Share with your friends. Bye guys.